This right here is one of the most important shifts that you will ever make when it comes to transformation. We've all been told at some point, you have got so much potential. And maybe that's true, but here is the hard truth. You don't rise to the level of your potential. You fall to the level of your patterns every time. So let's start with this visual. We have the pattern loop. Pattern loop consists of a trigger, a thought, emotion, behavior, and then you repeat it. So the trigger, thought, emotion, behavior, repeat. All right, now watch this. It starts with the trigger right here. That could be anything. That could be stress, rejection, pressure, temptation even. That trigger leads us to a thought, all right? To a thought. That's usually an automatic thought, an automatic behavior. It's based on your past. Maybe I'm not good enough. Why even try? This always happens to me, right? That thought, it triggers an emotional response right there. Maybe you feel discouraged, maybe anxious, unmotivated. And then emotions, when repeated, lead to behaviors, right? You scroll, you start doing things that you wouldn't necessarily do. You avoid, you procrastinate. And then here's where it gets dangerous, because behavior, when repeated, it starts to shape identity, right? When it's repeated, you always, maybe I am just not cut out for this, or this is just who I am now. And then once it reaches your identity, that loop resets. This is how people get stuck, not because they don't have potential, but because they keep reinforcing patterns that are rooted in old pain. They're rooted in old fear, old lies. But now, here's what I want you to see. This is the shift. Neuroscience tells us that neurons that fire together, wire together. You hear that? Neurons that fire together, wire together. That means the more that you repeat a thought or behavior, the stronger that pathway becomes. Your brain automates that pattern. What does Romans 12 verse 2 say? Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's powerful. The Bible and neuroscience, they're aligned. Transformation, it's not about willpower, it's about renewal. Renewal happens when you interrupt that loop. You have to interrupt that loop right there. When you say, that's not who I am anymore. That thought doesn't line up with the truth, right? That behavior, it doesn't align with my future. So now, what I want to do is give you a new loop, okay? A new loop, one that's based on your calling, not your coping. This new pattern is amazing. Awareness to truth, to aligned action, to reinforced identity, to momentum. That is what the new pattern loop should look like. But it has to start with awareness, okay? Right here, awareness. Recognize, absolutely recognize the pattern. Call it out. And then what you have to do is speak truth over it, both biblically and mentally. Take one small aligned action. Boom, baby, the truth to the aligned action. Take one aligned action. Okay, reinforce your new identity. Boom. And then don't shrink. I rise. But when you do that over and over, you gain momentum. Boom. And that momentum, this is how you walk in freedom instead of frustration. So my challenge to you, audit your patterns, speak truth, take aligned action, and let your identity match your calling, not your past. God, He didn't create you to survive. He didn't. He created you to thrive. So don't survive on potential. Live with intention. Let's go ahead and shift that pattern and live out the future that you were made for.